Hello friends, this is Bb, and we're back with a chess game from the Lindores Abbey tournament. We are with the quarterfinals that were held today because the preliminary round was finished, and we got those results here. I'm going to show you right now. So this is the knockout phase after the three first rounds finished, and then we got those matchings. Hikaru Nakamura with Levon Aronian, because it's also the game that we're showing for you. We're gonna have Magnus Carlsen with Wesley So, Yu Yang with Dingler, and Daniel Dubov with Sergei Karakin. So we're gonna have the quarterfinals, and then whoever wins from those goes in the semifinal, and then we have the big final. It's gonna be for next week, but we're gonna have time for that. So let's focus on the game that we're showing for today. It's a game between Hikaru Nakamura, the American Grandmaster, against the Armenian #1 in the world, Levon Aronian. It was a brilliant match between those two, when Aronian won the first game, and then we had 2 games draw. And then Hikaru, in the last game, he bounced back to win it, and so the game is in the Armageddon. So the game we're showing you is from the Armageddon between those two players. The score is 2-2, and whoever wins this advances to the semifinal. As we all know, the Armageddon, the white pieces, the player who has the white pieces has 5 minutes on the clock, and the player who has the black pieces has 4 minutes on the clock. But the white must win on demand. So Nakamura had the right to choose, so he chooses black with 4 minutes on the clock, and Levon with have white with 5 minutes on the clock, but he must win the game and able to advance to the semifinals. A draw, of course, sends Nakamura to the semifinals. So without losing any more time, we're gonna drive straight into the game. Levon with the white pieces opens with c4. So we have the English opening. Naga replies e5, knight f3 from Levon, knight f6, knight f3, and Nakamura goes knight c6, so we have the 4 knights of the English. Okay, the game continues. The white goes g3. He prepares to fianchetto the light square bishop and also to castle kingside. Nakamura advances in the center with d5. White captures one time on the center on d5, and now knight recaptures on d5. White develops the bishop on g2. Knight b6 from black, goes back with the knight, and now white castles. Bishop e7, he develops the bishop, the black, and also plans to castle. d3 from white, and black castles. Game continues with the white going bishop e3, he develops the bishop. Bishop e6 from white, and black goes queen d2. He wants this here to have this pressure in this line with bishop and queen eyeing those dark squares. Black goes knight d5. He attacks the knight and the bishop in the same time. White continues to develop the pieces, which goes to rook fc1, and now f6 from black. As we know, moving the f6 pawn sometimes is a weakness. We weaken the king side, but in this time, surely it's okay to play f6. White goes knight a4. He puts the knight on the board, on the edge of the border, on the edge of the board. So black goes to rook e8. Bishop goes c5. Attacks the dark square bishop. And bishop goes to d6. a3 from white, Knight b6. He goes back, attacking the knight. He wants to exchange some pieces, because of course the black is happy with the draw. And now white goes d1, protects the knight with the queen. Bishop d5 from black. He attacks the knight. And now bishop to e3. Goes back with the bishop. Bishop f8. Goes also back with the bishop. Wants to protect the king side here. It might be under attack later. And then white expands with b4. Knight d4 from black. And finally white decides to capture d4. Pawn captures on d4. And now white goes knight c5. Rook b8 from black. Knight b3. Goes back with a knight. And also puts pressure on this pawn here. Both knights are attacking the pawn. And now bishop captures on f3 from black. White of course recaptures on f3 with the pawn and has this structure here. It looks pretty safe for the king, with his bishop controlling those light squares here. And black goes c6. f4 from white. It sends this bishop, opens this diagonal. It might be very useful for later. And now knight a4 from black. Knight d2 from white. It goes back with the knight. As we know, the strong move is a move with the knight back. And also moving the knight, he also opens an attack here against the black's knight with the queen. Of course, black needs to react for this and goes knight c3. Knight has a very nice outpost in c3 because the pawn here is protecting the knight. So queen decides to give a check on b3. Black moves the king because it's in check, goes to h8, and now rook e1. The white counters the open file. We need to fight for open files, always. And black goes d7. Levon goes e4 with the knight. He closes this file here and also attacks the knight. This in c3 because it's a very strong knight. And Levon decides to capture on e4. Pawn captures on d4, on e4, and now black goes c5. Is strong as the center here. And now b captures on c5 from white. Bishop captures on c5, and now bishop f1. Levon is doing a very nice job. He has tried to control more space. So he's trying to find a plan how to convert this to a win, because he needs a win and only a win to advance on the semifinals. g6 from black and bishop b5. Bishop attacks the queen and the rook here. Queen e6. Queen attacks the queen, so he cannot capture the rook obviously, because the queen captures queen. So he decides to go c4 with the bishop. Sorry about that. c4 with the bishop, attacking a queen. And now black moves the queen to d6. g2 from white. He puts the king in a safer square. And now rook e7. Queen f3 from white. And now the black doubles up with rook b2 e8. Doubles up on the e file. This is a pretty nice rook battery here on the c file, controlling a lot of space. Good. Game continues with whites expanding on the king side with h4. and a6 from black. Black also wants to expand on the queen side as soon as possible. White prevents this, he goes a4, but now black goes bishop to b4. He attacks the rook on e1, so white goes rook e2. He moves the rook, queen c6 from black, and now bishop d5. White attacks black's queen here on the c5. Black moves the queen to c3, and now rook d1 from white. Queen captures on f3, exchanges the queens, and also now king captures on f3. Bishop c3 from black, and now this is a very decisive moment. White has a better position than black, but he needs to find the best moves so he can hope for a win here. But the move that white plays here is such a terrible move, and he gives black a very big initiative here. So white goes here, rook b1, and now black goes immediately rook to d8, and now white goes bishop to c4. And this is such a mistake, because now he allows the white to push the pawn forward. So white, the black, without wasting any time, he goes d3, attacks the rook. And now white moves the rook to e3. So he invites the black to go and push again on d2 and try to send this pawn to a queening square here on d1. And now black does that, goes d2, and then now white, this pawn is very scary here on d2. Its queen square is just so close, and white needs to prevent this, and he goes bishop d5. He closes this file here, and now the rook protects here. This is the queen square, the pawn cannot queen here. Okay, game continues, bishop a5, and now king e2. He also puts the king here to defend the queening square on d1. Rook c7 from black, and now rook d1. b5, black expands on the king side. He wants to create a passed pawn. A captures on b5. Pawn recaptures on b5, and now white goes g4. He wants to attack on the king side as soon as possible, because white has a passed pawn here on king side. Black goes c3 with the bishop, and now white goes b3 with the bishop. b4, black creates this structure here that is unbreakable, unless the white wants to sacrifice a rook for a bishop. There is no other way to break the structure, because as you see, white has only a light square bishop, and those pawns and bishops here are on dark squares. So let's see, the game continues with Levon goes g5. He pushes the pawn forward, and now Naka captures one time on g5. Levon recaptured with the h pawn on g5, and now rook f8. Attacks the pawn here, and Levon protects the pawn with rook to f3. Rook e7 attacks this pawn here. Those two rooks here are doing an amazing job from Naka. And now Levon pushes the pawn on e5. King g7 from Naka, e6 from Levon. Continue to pushing the pawn because the bishop protects the pawn here, so the rook cannot capture, of course, as we can see. And now h6 from black. He wants to exchange this pawn here. This might be very, very dangerous. And Levon does that. It goes pawn captures on h6, king recapture on a6, and now white goes g1. He puts pressure on the pawn. Rook f6 for black, he defends the pawn here, and now rook f to g3. Rook captures on e6 with check, captures the pawn, and now bishop captures on e6 with the rook, and the rook captures on e6. Rook e3, the white blocks the check here, and now black goes rook f6, attacks again the pawn, e4 from white, protects the pawn, and now black goes king g7. And now this is a critical moment of the game. Here the game is pretty much drawn. It's an equal end game. The white has a rook, but the black has a compensation for the rook. He has this unbreakable structure here, and his plan is very clear. He wants to queen one of those pawns. So white needs just to wait and prevent this with the rook, moving the rook in this line here in b1. Could have been very great, so he could have controlled this pawn here to not be pushed forward, and then he could have to see the chances somewhere else. But of course, with also less time on the clock, the move that white plays was such a terrible blunder that gives black the win. So the move that white does was rook to c4, and black instantly plays rook to e6 check. It was in this position on move 60 that Levon Aronian resigns the game, because there is nothing more to be done. The king is in check, and he needs to move the king. If he moves the king in this square here, on f1, of course we all see that the rook goes check on e1, and then after the king moves here, we promote the pawn on the queen. So this is pretty much winning. And also, if the king moves here, it's such the same thing. We give it, if the king moves here, we just give a check here, and after king moves, we could promote to a queen again. So this was very unfortunate for Levon, because he has a wonderful performance, but in the end it was Naka that advances to the semi-final. Also, now the game between Digliren and Wang Yi was Wang Yi won on the Armageddon against Ding. It was Ding has a winning position, but Wang Yi managed to win on time, so he managed to flag Ding, so he advances also in the semi-final. Tomorrow we're gonna have the 2 more games from the semi-finals, as we said. Tomorrow is gonna be Magnus Carlsen with Wesley So, and also the Russians battling together, Daniel Dubov against Sergei Karakin. We're gonna have more fun tomorrow, and we're gonna be back with another game from the semi-finals, from the quarterfinals, and we're gonna see who is gonna advance on the semi-finals from the pairings tomorrow. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you soon with another game from Lindores Chess Abbey 2020. Thank you all and blessings.